Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we are taking on Strago Shinryu. So this is the normal fight, not the Dare to Defy one. And once again, I figured I would feature Strago here, and plus I want to get my ticket mission done. So I'm like, well, let's blow it up with Penelo and Core. Now Core, you could say, doesn't synergize the best here because he does do physical damage. So you're going to see him hitting once quite a bit, but it doesn't matter. We have enough Brave gains that he is actually still putting in some damage. And Penelo just absolutely dominates. She does so much damage. So Strago is basically here for the ticket mission. He still puts in like good damage, right? Because it's a 3-target fight. But I definitely don't feature him during FR here. We just go all in Penelo. And we try to blow this thing up as quick as we can. So that's what I guess is kind of fun about Dare to Defy, is that I do like going in with these more obscure teams or like with characters I don't use as much. But then I like being able to do the regular one and just blowing it up. Which is fun, right? Because it's a lot more fun to do that than if there's just no restriction on every Shinryu. I would just blow it up with Penelo every time. Wouldn't really have any incentive to summon. Wouldn't really have an incentive to use a lot of my other characters, other than I would just have to force myself to do it for fun, which I definitely could do, right? But, you know, it's a gacha game, and I want the game to do well. And so to encourage people to pull, I think something like Dare to Defy is just a good thing to have, because there are players out there that maybe wouldn't pull if there wasn't Dare to Defy, but they will because of it. I know I've pulled, like, after the first Dare to Defy, well, during the first Dare to Defy, I pulled a lot, because it was beginning of FR era, so I needed, like, all the FRs just to get it done. But, even after that Dare to Defy, I pulled for characters to say, oh yeah, this is a good Dare to Defy character, hoping that it would come back, right? Characters like Lilisette, Aroha, those are ones that come to mind because they're very flexible FRs. I'm like, these are characters that are good for lockout content, and I've pulled some of those characters that I maybe wouldn't have gone as hard on, right? So yeah, I like it. It's fun. And here's the thing, like, if you don't want to pull as much for these characters, you definitely don't have to, and you just have to be okay maybe not getting all the missions done if you don't have a big enough roster, and that's fine too. And really good players can get this done with the bare minimum, right? So it's just a fun challenge either way. I really like it. But yeah, here's Penelo. You can see, look at Penelo. That's her EX, like 800k AoE. It's pretty good. And it's a fast-charging EX that she can just like spam into nonstop, which we're basically doing right here. We're basically doing a ramp EX cycle to basically get us to force time. And then all we're going to do, because all I had to do was like, all right, I just need to get core basically set up on Penelo. And then basically after that, it's like, all right, well, let's just ramp all the way through with Penelo and see how much damage we can do here, right? These Penelo runs typically go very quick because she is an absolute monster. I'm very happy with her as the anniversary character. She just does so much. Like, look how she can just self-ramp while doing the EXs for big damage. Now you just throw that Lunafreya call on her, which I did do a call video, and once again, I do think Lunafreya is the best call in the game. I just use it for situations like this. Penelo technically doesn't need it as much as other characters do, but the one thing I need it for in Penelo's setup is to just pop her BT and then give her another turn after her BT. That's the only reason I need it for her, but other than that, you don't necessarily need the quick prayer for Penelo, because all of her stuff is going to be instant turn until you decide you want to go burst phase, other than her BT. So this is right here. Getting this BT effect up was why I wanted to use Lunafreya. Now, I could have popped her BT on a previous turn and wait for her to come around. That would work fine also. But I wanted to ramp right into it, right? Now, the one thing I could do here is go into burst. So, like, right now, if I went into burst, I would still have heavy prayer on, which would be good. But the bad part about it is we're at the beginning of forest, our percentage isn't as high. So what I decide to do here, and I like to go in on turn 8 or turn 7, preferably. So I decide to opt to do like a haste rumba here, or a regen. Well, it's one of them. I do a ramp attack. I thought about it a little bit, but I want to do a ramp attack because it's going to be 125%. So it's going to get me higher in the gauge, get me to turn 8. And I kind of like being turn 8 here, so then I go burst. And then the idea is I can come out at the end of this and use my summon. Now, I wasn't paying attention at the time. My summon actually wasn't up yet, so I probably could have just ramped again and taken the extra 125% and then just have my heaviest hit during my force time. But this is fine. It works out just fine. We get plenty of damage here anyways. Even though, so the boss goes into the like defense mode where I'm only dealing once, but look at Penelo's Brave. It just like stays capped. Like, it doesn't matter when you have Brave gains and Brave retention and all this stuff. Like, look at her Brave. It's just always orange. Like, She's just always capping on Brave, even if she's hitting ones. So her damage is still insane. Yep, they can be in defensive posture. We're basically ignoring the mechanic that they want you to have Strago for with the instant break. We're just ignoring that. And just still doing 8 mil AoE damage. Like, huge damage. Penelo's just so crazy. The Fatal Dance is so strong. And the crazy thing is, you know, if we come out of this and they're still alive, then we still have more Fatal Dances to use. But I'm pretty sure, if not for this attack, we've got one more attack coming out of here. But I think Penelo might just... I mean, they're at 18%. I'm trying to remember if this actually pops them or if we have to do another attack. Because that's huge damage. Like 11 mil there. Yeah, 100... Yeah, we just popped them. Like, literally, all I did was I just ramped into one Penelo force. And they were at like 90, 91%, something like that, right? And we just blew the whole thing up in one force time. Penelo's pretty crazy. I love her. She's great. She's great. The thing, too, with Penelo, she's a hard character to negate. Right? She doesn't depend on an element. She doesn't depend on launching. Really, the only way to negate her is to, like, punish you for, like, ramping with free turns. But, like, not a lot of bosses do that. So anyways, guys, let me know how your runs are going. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.